let's adjust this a bit. It was difficult to find a spot. I'm sorry, I'm 6 minutes late. Today we're going to be talking about why atheist brains are too big for their own good. I actually recorded this video last summer, but it got corrupted. And you know, I was so happy with it, and then it just feels terrible to have to redo it. It's why, you know, some videos you just feel like, yeah, that was okay. And then, you know, it's more like, I guess I got to redo it. But you know, when you're really happy with it, then it gets corrupted like that. Yeah, I just kind of had to wait to do it again. And now I'm doing it live because I don't want to feel like, you know, I don't want to have the option of do-over. So I'm gonna be talking about why atheist brains are too big. And I put in the thumbnail this big brain meme, and the quote like, show me the proof that God exists. You know, and the thing is like, the proof, have you looked around? Are you seeing what I'm seeing or not, you know? And I think this is a quote that is very, very relevant. I've said before, atheists don't see the forest because the trees are in the way. You know, they're looking too much. Like, where is the proof? Where is the proof? And it's kind of like, it's right there. It's right in front of you. Just stop fucking trying to look so much, you know? But I know it's a tough one when you're not there. I want to clarify that when I say God specifically because I used to be such a hardcore atheist, you know. It was a high value of mine that, no, there's no God, absolutely nothing. There's no, that can't make sense. There can't be a God because there's all this crap in the world. If there was a God, it would be like this. You know, obviously I'm playing God there. I know better than God how the world should be, right? But yeah, so to me, it holds a symbolic significance to say God, because, you know, it's a sign of the change I've gone through. But what it's really about, you could call it the higher power, the universe, nature, whatever word you prefer. This is also a thing. This is a very atheistic thing. Yo, someone dropping in. I'm gonna try to ignore the chat for a bit while I go on my rant, but please talk to me in the meantime, and I'll get to you guys in the end. Where were we? Where even were we? See, I wish I could block the chat. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's this, it's a very, yeah, that's right. It's a very atheistic thing to get hung up on words like God. You know, I know, because I've been an atheist myself. You feel then when you say God that it's like this person, this guy sitting up there and being like, yes, let's do this, let's kill that guy. Oh, he deserves to get robbed, you know, or whatever. You know, it's not that at all. It's like God is the last common denominator for everything going on here, right? And it's very difficult to, yeah, I'm doing this video now because when I asked you guys for some suggestions for video topics, a bunch of you said spirituality and God, you know, so I'm doing this now for that reason. And so it's to someone who doesn't see God yet. It's not even about believing sometimes, you know, a lot of people want to believe in God. Do you believe in spirituality? Believe in spirituality. What do you mean? I am spiritual, if that was what you mean. I believe in God. But can I fucking block the chat? I'm sorry, man. It's not you specifically, but I see it and I get distracted. Can I? Yeah, I can. Yeah, now it's hidden. Yeah, I know a lot of people that want to believe in God. A lot of guys have, and girls, by the way, have come to me and be like, how did you do it, or what's the reason you know, and they come from the perspective, there are of course just the atheists that wants to be, you know, outsmart you with their facts and logic trademark, like, so you're saying this, they just want to dismantle your belief, and I'm 0% interested in that because I know that God is there, you know. Of course, it's in the nature of the thing. You have to, that's why it's called faith. You have to trust that he is there. But in the high state like I am right now, I see it very clearly. I know he's there. In the low state, I can't quite see him, and that's when I have to have the faith. But so there are these people that have come to me that don't necessarily come and ask me because they want to dismantle it. They actually ask because they want to. They are struggling with a lot of things in life, and I feel like if they could only believe in God, see this higher power, see that there's a meaning and a reason for it all, that they would be doing better. But the thing is, it's impossible to explain. Just give someone the right words, the arguments for God. It's like trying to explain to a person that was born blind what like the color red looks like. Do you understand? It's something you have to experience for yourself. And so I'll tell you how I started believing in God. So like I told you, I was always the hardcore atheist. Like, it triggered me something fierce when people talked about God. It's like, how can you believe in these fairy tales, these books, you know? that someone wrote thousands of years ago, like an idiot, because I have not read the Bible or any like religious text more than, single excerpts like that. And I now realize, God is within. The word of God is written within us, it's not that someone who genuinely believes in God does it because it says in a book that there is a God. God is not in a book. The book is merely a tool. It's exactly in the way that I can try to guide you into having the experience that leads you to discovering God on your own. The Bible can do the same. There's lots of truth and lessons you can learn from that, but it's through your own spiritual experience that you're actually going to find God. But so I was like this always, because I felt like I was born with a curse that I thought was ADHD. I was diagnosed with that, and I thought everything that I felt was wrong with me, my anxiety, that I don't have to list all the things, but anxiety, low self-esteem, that I felt like I didn't have enough confidence to do certain things, and it's the ADHD. I was born this way, this curse, and I had my autistic brother, right? That we went through immense suffering together as children. It was a very, very tough upbringing, and this, of course, that's what happens to us all. We are born of our Father's nature, God. We're born pure, but we fall away from God when we get traumatized, like almost all of us do. And I think actually the kids that are brought up by very, very good alpha parents, Chad and Stacy, dad and mom, I think they don't really ever fall as far, but they are still gonna have to go through some challenges in life and end up with the same. I just think that what the parents can do, the perfect, or not perfect, because we never can be, but the almost perfect parents, by them doing the great job, I think their kid is never gonna fall as far away from God, But so that's what happened to me. From all the suffering I went through, to me it didn't make sense. How the fuck can there be a God? How can this happen to me? And also when the panic attacks first happened to me, it was terrible. The way I felt, I had never, I had felt bad and, thought about suicide in a sense that it would be nice. I don't really see the point of it all. It would be nice to just sleep, rest from it all. But I never seriously considered it. But when I went through the panic attacks, I understood now, okay, it's no one really wants to kill themselves. It's that you have gotten into such a fallen state that your experience is just so acutely horrible that you feel like there is no option. And I started fearing this. So shit, I that have this value, even in my unhappiness, that I will never kill myself, I am fucking starting to think I have to. And of course, I was at first like, how can there be a God? How can there be a God, But as I went through this, struggled through this, I just didn't understand that it was him that I found. But in between all the panic attacks, and when I come home, and I got the relief, and when it finally was over, I felt this extreme gratitude just to be able to exist, finally, in stillness, And all of a sudden, the voice inside my head was kind. The voice was always beating me up before. Why are you like that? You're such a loser. Why don't you know what you want in life? Oh, you know some things you want, like, a nice woman and all that, but you're not good enough for that. How did you get that? You're such a fucking loser. Why can't you pull yourself together? This is the kind of dialogue I had in my head. And, even when it isn't that aggressive, a lot of us talk to ourselves in this way, even with our, unconscious mind, that are not verbal, But all of a sudden, the voice acknowledge that this you're going through right now, wow, what a struggle. You can't even call yourself weak for this, because no one that experienced this could be able to do anything differently, So I go through this whole experience, and it's up and down very much in between, The panic attacks are always terrible, but I feel this intense gratitude afterwards every time. And for a long time it felt like it didn't get better. Then it gradually got better. I was still feeling like shit, and I could still get panic attacks, but not on the daily basis, But I started seeing something is going on here, And then after I had this one thing where we were in Moscow with the choir I was in then, 08 by the way, look at that, 0 and an 8, 0 in text and 8, great women's choir, one of the best in the world. We were there to have a concert, and I was freaking the fuck out in the Tchaikovsky concert hall, like shit, I'm gonna go out, this wreck, I'm having a panic attack, and I wanted to bail so much, but I got through it, and it was extremely scary to stand there. But I faced my fear, and the more I face my fear, the more just me remain, right? Like I did in the topic of yesterday's stream, right? Face your fears, and all that will remain will be you. And then, you know, it's interesting how I started believing in God without really understanding that I did. But actually, it was Jesse Lee Peterson that I've been on his show, and I would love to, by the way, guys, if you can recommend me to him and actually have me for a longer interview and not just a call-in. But it was actually him. It was him who made me believe. What he was talking about resonated with me so much, and I could also tell that this old black conservative geezer, not a very smart guy, and not because he's black, by the way, just so someone doesn't think that he calls himself, you know, I'm black and slow all the time. Never mind the black part, he is not very intelligent, but he sits and spouts these just very wise things, so as if they are just, you know, obvious, and that said something to me, like, no, he did not come up with this on his own, because he is not this smart to say all these wise things. And, you know, the more and more I just realized that, okay, God, it's more like the pattern of the world, you know. It's more like an energy. It's not like a guy sitting there and being like, I made these rules that you guys gotta follow. It's more like the world exists under a certain set of rules. And the more you can understand and see the rules, the more fulfilling and a happy life you will live, the better you'll be able to deal with life. So this is what happens in my high estate now. You've seen, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the way I was talking. I started talking like this philosopher, and it's not that I'm, you know, getting all high and mighty, let's use this language. I was so extremely in touch with the divine, you know, that it just flowed through me. The words just came out beautifully all the time without me having to do anything about it. And now, it's always like this when you have that intense spiritual growth. It's like you're peaking for a while, and I'm still in a very high state, but it's like it has all settled a little bit. And that's the, you know, when the challenge in the low state or the fallen state is to not let all the dread get the better of you, to at least get out and do something, you know. And in my high state, I've been challenged in the opposite way. When I have such high access to God and the divine, it's hard to confuse, because God is within, you know, he's within, and it's difficult to see that it's not you, you know. It's just the godly working through you, and you're just lucky enough to be a part of it. And do you understand how much my fucking ego has had to, you know, I'm called Theo. Theo is my nickname, it means God. And now I finally learned this time that I am not God. And I never thought consciously that I was God, but you know, you start acting in that way a little bit. But I realized, no, I am Theodore, the gift from God. And so, yeah. The thing is, with everything, so what I want to come to here, that what makes people struggle with believing in God is all the suffering that we go through in our lives. It just seems impossible. Like, if there was a God, why would he do this, you know? But the thing is, every time you question God, you are playing God. You're saying that you know better. You know better than the universe, how the universe should work, and obviously you don't. And so, what I've come to now, I realized that there is a reason for everything, and I want to be careful and you know, humble and understanding to you watching. I know some of you have gone through some extremely difficult things, horrendous things that I can't even imagine. You can't even imagine some of the things I've gone through, you know. I know the suffering and how, you know, the pain, and like how can there be someone? The thing is, when you see the pattern of God, the code of the universe, when you see the numbers like Neo does in Matrix, you just see how everything has to work. It's not necessarily that, you know, God just makes you suffer and it's a good thing because this is how it works. It's what you choose to do with this now. You can allow yourself to be consumed by the hate and anger and fear and dread that you're experiencing during that suffering, or you can rise above it and say that even when I'm struggling this, it is well with my soul. Everything is the way it should be. I'll do my best still. I can't do as much now in this fallen state, but I'll do my best. I can't really see God right now, but I'll trust. I'll trust that if I do the right thing, I will be rewarded in the end. And this is what has happened to me now. There is literally, I've been through some really difficult things. My childhood was very, very, very difficult. I've been backstabbed big time by close friends. I've been not sexually assaulted, but let's say an older gay man in a power position nothing really happened, but he betrayed my confidence and, tried to go for something in a setting where I was very emotionally vulnerable. And again, I couldn't talk to anyone, I couldn't say to anyone about this because of the power dynamic there. I felt like I need to keep quiet about it. Even though nothing really happened, I felt dirty from this. And all this shit, that I've gone through, none of it, I'm like, oh, I wish that didn't happen. Oh, I did. Because I now see it's not that those things were right. It's just that if you crack the code, and trust in God, like the stream, by the way, you are quite a few guys watching like it. If you crack the code, you become like a chess player, It's not that the suffering is good, but you can always manipulate the timeline after that so that it fits right in. Do you see what I'm saying? Like everything I had, for instance, this is my dream. My dream is 5 years ago, when I was still in a fallen state and hated God and all that, I was watching YouTube streamers and I was so envious because I know I really have this. When I was relaxed, I have this amazing ability to perform, to stand and take the space and just shoot out my energy to the audience, may that be in words or some kind of musical performance or something like that. But I was blocked by this terrible stage fright that I thought I was born with, the anxiety or the ADHD, that I'm just born this way. And I was so angry and resentful that I saw these people doing exactly what I wanted to do, entertaining and educating people, and those that could afford to, could support them via super chat. It just seemed like the perfect thing to do. And I seemed completely blocked from doing it. And I suffered many times from other stuff. Like, I mean, it's not specifically only YouTube I dreamt about. That's just a very specific thing. But being the center of attention, of course, I like it. Like my ego likes it too, if I get credit for that. But really, I know that I'm good at it. I knew that I could deliver so much to people, but I was blocked from doing it. And I suffered through this. I cried. I remember my ex-girlfriend, how I cried and be like, oh, I'll never be able to do the things I really want in life, And now I am just doing them seamlessly. I'm just there now. How can I possibly be like, oh, I'm so sad it was like that? I now see it. Because I cracked the code, because I chose to learn the lessons, because I chose to struggle and suffer and not know that it would be okay, but just trust that if I put in the work, it will be. That's exactly what happened. So that's what I want to tell you. When you struggle, it's okay that you struggle. It's okay if you resent God for a bit. You have to sometimes through your journey, but you have to find your way back to it. You have to trust that. Yeah, that's the thing too. Everyone is asking God to show himself first. Like, give me a sign, God, and then I'll do the right thing. Not the way it works. You gotta do the right thing first. Then God is gonna reveal himself to you. And the funny thing is, the more you crack the code, the more directly God will give you signs. Like, there's so many things when I go around thinking like, God, can you just give me a sign about this? And I will just bump my toe into something right after, like, okay, I get it, okay, I chill with that, okay, I'll stay away from that, And I've noticed too, in their prayers, a lot of people, they do this too. If you only do this, God, if you only give me this, then I'll be good, Doesn't work like that. You can ask God for stuff, but you can't, test him. Like, if you do this for me, then I'll... No. God is your daddy. You have to go first. You have to do what dad tells you to do, or what that dad thinks you should be doing, which is just the right thing, acting in the right way, being moral, Then he will reveal himself to you. But I've noticed now, when I pray, I've actually asked God very directly for things and gotten them almost instantly many times. Like, there was a recent thing that involves other person. It was a special situation with someone I know, that they were going through some, how to put it. It was a difficult situation. I was worried about them. I was really worried about them. And so I was praying to God, and I was like, please, can I just hear from this person? I know this person has a hard time right now, but can I get some... I'm so worried. I can't focus on the things I need to do. I'm doing my best, God. I will keep doing my best also, but I would just... it would just be such a relief for me if you could just give me a sign. Tell me it's going to make me feel like it's going to be okay with that person, so I can relax and do my own things. Do your work even more fully. But I'll do my best either way. I promise. I promise that I'll do my best either way. But please. And don't you know, mid-prayer, as soon as I'm thinking this person's name, my phone plings, and I get the message. And of course, the angry, super logical, big-brained atheist would be like, "It's just a fluke. You think that's proof?" It's like when you go through, when you see this pattern over and over and over and over, it's like, how can I not believe into it? God is so fucking in my face sometimes that it's like, But the funny thing is, you got to understand what I mean with in your face, because God works in mysterious ways. That's the thing. Satan is very, very. He is right there in your. He is very visual. That's the thing. And Satan, he does the opposite. You know how I told you that God, you have to do the right thing first, and then God rewards you. Satan is the other way. He gives you the pleasure, the reward immediately, but then he's gonna take something away to you or add something to you, like a curse. Like, think of it this way. You get drunk. You're enjoying yourself. Next day you wake up feeling terrible, you're nauseous, you have anxiety, your gut is wrecked, your health, it's not only now, you're slowly chipping away at your health when you're doing this, or when you just eat a bunch of junk food, you're feeling great, so tasty, then you get fat, you get diabetes, and you're left with this fucking curse, the fat that you have to carry around. You see, and God, he often, because we have to be good. Being good is easy. If God would always be like, look, son, I'll give you $1 million if you just do this. I mean, if you have that promise, it's so, what's the challenging being good if you know from the start that, I'll get my stuff, so that's what God, when you ask God for something, sometimes it's gonna look like he's giving you the opposite, and you're gonna be like, what, God, I want this, and you did this, you did it even worse for me. But then if you just accept that, okay, this is part of, not finding the formulation I want from Swedish, but okay, so this is what God's plan can look like, I guess. Trust that God knows better always, and that you maybe don't understand fully why some things happened when they did, but if you trust it and keep doing the right thing, acting in that way, there's always going to come a time when you're like, now I understand, either, because I never want to say with your trauma that it was good that thing happened to you. No, I understand how difficult some things that happened to you were, but it's more like you can always end up at a point where it doesn't matter, where it fits right into the whole puzzle, into the whole timeline, right? So I think this is it for my rant about God, you guys. There's not going to be a proof. I'm not going to say the magic words and you're like, okay, yeah, I see him, he's there, cool. Yeah, now I believe in God, But you get some ideas and maybe get, what is optimistic. Like, some of these things Theo are saying are making sense, I'll start doing the right thing more. Because that's, I actually got a reminder on my phone to pray to God. I have three per day. Try to pray at least twice per day, but sometimes midday too. But I think that's it, you guys. I mean, I'm sure you have 12 people. Can you fucking like the stream? Is this the thing? When I just rant and aren't on your ass to like, you just don't? Yeah, is that the thing? I want to see the likes explode now. You're 11. It says now 3 likes. Like. And someone could send a super chat. Sorry about that. I accidentally touched a... fucking YouTube spamming me with notifications. How can YouTube not have built in, like, are you sure you want to leave your live stream, mid-live stream to watch this YouTube video? No, of course I want to. I'm mid-stream and I want to just click a video. I'm going to take a break from the stream and watch the video now. I'm not good at technology. I mean, I could be if I was interested in coding and stuff, because I have pretty high IQ, but I'm not very interested in sitting and doing that. But on the just pure design level, I think I could do a lot for these fucking sites. Many dumb things. Oh, there's quite a bit of stuff in the chat. Can you please send a super chat and show your appreciation here? I would appreciate it. Because I really gotta go. I'm gonna go keep working on the Solar Night diet video. I'm very happy with you guys. When I said that if 5 of you ask directly for that video, in the video where I was talking about it, that I will make it. And what do I wake up to? 5 comments asking for it. So I'm acting fast now, and it's a super serious video. It's more highly produced. So 14 people, that's cool. 15, wow, nice. Like. Okay, Enclave Officer Fitzgerald, this is gonna be cold. Glad I finally caught the live stream. Gold, you said. Oh, well, I'm glad you view it that way, man. true health and living. Why does fasting increase my spiritual connection times 1,000? Is it because your body is consuming pure raw flesh? Here's on your thoughts as to why this happens. Much love, brother. So, this is of course a huge topic with God. The thing is, so I wanted to get so many things in there, but I think I got the whole, the journey kind of to finding God in there. But the thing is, our soul is in this world, but not of this world. But our flesh and our mind is in this world. And so the more corrupted your mind and flesh is from trauma, and by that I mean both emotional trauma that you suffered from your childhood, or other people doing terrible things to you, or actual physical trauma like accidents, but just abusing your body with drugs, alcohol, and junk food, and not exercising. See it as the body and mind is the vehicle for the soul. The soul has entered this and is driving around in this, And so the worse the body and mind functions, the more cloudy everything is going to get. You're going to be viewing everything through a fog, and the fog is your emotions, the anxiety, the fear, and the pain and all that shit, And so the healthier you become, and I don't only mean physical health, it's all, that's why it's this holistic approach, the process I talked about, it's all in there. And the more you sort all of that out, you're operating in a smooth, well-working vehicle. There's no hiccups, So when you're fasting, that's good for you in general, but you're giving the body such a break. So you're just going to be more in touch with nature. There's going to be more stillness within you, not as much disturbance, interference. So this is the thing, the intellect, our body and mind is not evil necessarily. It's just that when it dominates, it becomes evil. Because, the intellect is not the divine, the soul, our consciousness is the divine. And so when you can look behind the intellect, you understand that your thoughts are not the perfect, they are not, accurate. Even when you're thinking kind of a truthful thing, they are just an interpretation. They are an attempt at communicating something. I've said this before, like even between us humans, we can understand each other pretty well with our language. We also communicate a lot with our bodies, right? But, even if I I point at a wall and say that's a white wall, someone else might be, I think it's kind of a dark gray wall, and I'm like, but yeah, it's a shade of white. Do you see how the words sometimes can't hit something perfectly? They can often hit something good enough for the other person to be like, yeah, I understand, But it's the same in your head. So the more you can sync up your verbal thoughts with the truth, your consciousness, the things that you just see and experience without really, thinking, I'm having this experience, the more you can sync that up, the more, the closer to God you are, basically. And that's something, by the way, that's another video I planned. Make your words and actions align, or make your words and reality align, because that's what a lot of people do now. They're just telling all these stories that they think are the truth, but it's just a bunch of words. It's a lie that because they hear it in their head, they think it's true, but it's not in line with what's actually true. Please ask me more about that if you want. And let's see here. Logical light, God exists within and without of all things. Oscar, is God a guy or a force? You already asked me this, man. I said there's no fucking guy up there with a beard that's sitting all like, yeah, look at my children. God is the sentience of the universe. It's the final common denominator, that which unites all. And by the way, in my opinion, love and truth are synonyms with God. They are the same. God is the truth. God is love. And look, when you understand this, you still, again, with all the suffering, how can there be so much suffering? Because there could be no good, there could be no pleasure or joy without suffering, terror, and dread. Do you understand that? Everything has to exist by contrast, and then it's the yin and yang thing. It's up to us now. We will never be able to make the world all good, but it's up to us now. We have one choice in this life. Do I want to be a force for good or force for evil in this life? And I've chosen to be a force for good, and then you just try to max it out as much as you can. And right now, I'd say humanity is doing a pretty poor job. I'd say most people are doing evil's work. And what do you mean with that? There are some people that are really, really, really evil, and I think they know they are even. But what I mean is when people have just fallen away from God, they don't act in alignment with the truth and what's right. But it's up to us to overcome that. And then, you know how there's a balance between everything, but the balance isn't necessarily always 50-50. It's up to us, to do the right thing enough so that the balance weighs more up, that there's more good than evil in the world. And I think we go through these cycles. Right now we're at a low. You know, on the surface people think, oh, we have it great with all this technology, but it really isn't. I think someone sent a super chat. Yes, let's go down and see that before we take anything else. Yes, Ryan Johnson is back. Yay, bro. What up, bro? You ever do magic mushrooms? You'll have some super spiritual experiences on those. No, I mean, I might have in the past. I just might have, you know. But I remember I was so much less spiritually mature then. So I experienced kind of an ego death, but I didn't really take anything with me afterwards. The thing is, what I'll say my opinion on that is that, you know, magic mushrooms or the like, you have to really know what you're doing, because what they can do is accelerate spiritual growth. Stuff that you know, my panic attacks, what I went through there, that's basically like a long ass trip, you know. So you can have these experiences without the drugs. It's not that the drugs, never put the mushrooms on a pedestal or something. Oh, they make you gain access to the divine. No, no, no. If you're even thinking that way, you've fallen away from God, you know. But they can be a tool. In the right setting, they can accelerate spiritual growth, but done in the wrong way, they can also accelerate spiritual trauma very, very badly. So I'd say I'm not against them or for them, really. If someone asked me about them, do you think I should do it? I would, if I have to say yes or no, I'd say no. But I'd see a lot of people that do it with the right reason, the right argument and setting, and I'd be like, yeah, I can see why you do that, you know. Very much appreciate the super chat, man. It wasn't the first time. I'm very, very stoked. Again, this is proof of what I've talked to earlier. It's every time I'm reminded, you know, that I'm living my dream, and I didn't before. Murtasama, so do you attend church? Have you read the Bible? What are your thoughts on organized religion? No, I don't attend church, because most of the churches here are like basically HBTQ organizations at this point. It's again, with a lot of things, they look, it's a Satan thing, you know, it looks nice on the surface, right? But we all know that shit is traumatizing to children and all, you know. It's not about hating those people at all. It's just that, you know, all this indoctrination with the gender ideologies and stuff, it's pure evil. It would traumatize so many children. And so there's just no good option. Like the thing, I have not read the Bible, by the way, because I have no need to. I'm sure I would find it interesting, but the word of God is written within. The Bible is like for the people that haven't really found God yet, you know. But this is also a thing that makes me really believe in God. You know how often people tell me that, you're basically quoting this passage from the Bible. Oh, you're basically saying what the Stoics said about this. Oh, that sounds like the Hinduist and blah, 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 blah. This is how I know God exists too. But because in many different forms, we are not God. We will never get fully there. I would say I'm very close to God, but we'll never become God, right? So we're always going to be slightly off in our interpretation of God. But that's why all these fundamental truths keep coming back. Some people find it, and they have their form, their way of presenting it, and so many of the things, they tap into the same fundamental truth. And that's why, you know, I've met Christians in name that I feel like I have nothing in common with, and I've met Muslims where I feel like, yeah, spot on. And I feel this can be in many different ways. Even people that have their own kind of, you know, way of describing it. You know, I call myself a Christian sometimes because it saves time, kind of. But it's really, I'm all about God and the divine. And I just feel like, yeah, the truly Christian, you know, it's what's most culturally close to me and all that, you know. And I like Jesus, basically the original Giga Chad, you know. But yeah, so I don't attend church. What I say about organized religion is with the right religious leader. Like, in a way, you know, I think I'm a good religious leader for you guys. It's going to be up to you to determine, of course. But you see, with the right leader, it can be great. But with a corrupt pastor that's, you know, really ruling by Satan's rule, you know, then it's just going to be terrible. What can be good with these things is that people aren't, like with religious societies and stuff, is that the moral code from them can make people act more morally before they've actually found their way to God, you know. Because my moral code now, it's in here. It's not something I've read somewhere. Oh, you shouldn't do this. I know. No, I don't steal. No, I don't kill. No, I don't hurt people. You know, I don't, you know, all that shit. I just know it. I don't have to read it in a book. But for the people that aren't fully there yet. And see, this is a thing in the Hinduism too. You know that in the Hinduism, they have all these gods, you know. But that's only for the like lesser aware people, not lesser people, but lesser spiritually aware, so that they get something to channel their, you know, they can still do some kind of spiritual practice. They're closer to it, but I don't know what they call it in English, but kind of the wise, the Hinduists that have reached a higher level, they know that these gods are not really, you know, they're a bunch of gods. It's just, you know, something that helps other people practice their spirituality. They know too that it's just this unifying one divine final common denominator, right? Okay. What do we have here? There's a lot in this. Do you attend? Ellie Methwich says, "What's up? What's up?" Tarzan in the making. W, like the stream. Yes, please do. Adam Lucas, yo Tarzan, I'm in the server you are in on Discord for self-improvement. Haha, cool. You know, I have a Discord, guys. Do you care about that? I've not used it much. I mean, I'd probably be more active if you were. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not into Discord, so I won't be the guy to start all the activity there. But if you guys start, I can put it out in some other video, like in the description. I think meditation, Adam Lucas, would be one of the best of things to do on a long fast. Yeah, definitely. Pavid, what stories? So you're a pantheist. I have no idea what stories are you asking about. And pantheist, I don't know what that is. I don't care about these labels. This is also intellectual bullshit in the end. You know, sometimes it makes sense to just describe something, you know. But this is the thing. All these divisions are fake. Left wing, right wing, fake. It's an illusion by Satan. We're all human beings. White people, black people. Fake. Like, not that they're, you know, there are black and white people. We're obviously different, you know, like that. But, you know, we're all humans. It's not that we're, you know, on different teams like that. And this is what Satan does all the time. He divides us into all these teams. You have the left versus right, men versus women, white versus black, and racist versus anti-racist, feminist versus anti-feminist, all this bullshit, the divide and conquer style by Satan. And when you see through it, you care very little. Like I used to identify very much with, I'm an atheist, oh, I'm a libertarian, oh no, I'm actually a libertarian conservative, intellectual nonsense, because you're lacking identity and you have to latch on to some of these external labels. No, I'm just Theodore. I'm just Theodore, son of God. And I don't mean that I'm the only one. We're all sons and daughters of God, just so you understand. I'm just me. I'm just me, guys. And Pavid, this is more nonsense. I think we have a kind of intellectual Christian here in the chat. I think that wants you. Oh, pantheist. What story? Where is even your Bible, bro? You can go away, man. There can be pleasure and joy without pain. That's not true. Okay, so you're the atheist. Okay, so you're a big brain atheist. You saw the title and was triggered. Well, you don't understand anything, bro, if you're saying that. So how could there be that? How could it be good if there's no evil, you know? Explain it to me. Explain it. Try to explain it. Because if everything was just good all the time, then it's not good. Then it just is. Then it just, you know, it's just nothing. It's nothing. It has to be in contrast to, do you see, the joy I experience now is just because I've suffered so much in life. That I've suffered so much is why I've been able to reach these high levels. Would not be possible without the suffering. Tarzan in the making says, oh hell nah, not mushrooms. Hell yeah, lol, Ryan Johnson says, he's the fan of the mushrooms. Like the stream. Yeah, thanks Tarzan. I like you supporting me like that. Brother man, Pan, how are you supposed to learn without negativity, Pab? Yeah, exactly. We have to be taught lessons by life like that. When we get hurt, you know, it can be in many different ways, you know, but that's how we gain appreciation for things. We learn some lessons sometimes, you know, some things that happened to us were completely out of our control, you know, but then we can still we can always make it into something good, I said, by manipulating the timeline after that. You'll see what you learned even from this thing that you didn't deserve like that, you know. And sometimes it's, of course, that we get, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the opposite of modest. We get cocky, and then we have to be kind of smacked on the fingers. And if we choose to do it, we can learn from that also. Hey, where are you, Pavid? I want to talk to you more. You're saying really, really stupid things, and it's a lot of fun trolling you, because I know how atheists are. You're sitting there, this fucking guy. Where's his proof? Where's his proof? Show me the study that shows that God exists. Adam Lucas. Honestly, man, it even said in the Bible that anything like the LGBTQ is sinful, not allowed, yet they allow it. It's a joke. No offense to Christianity. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to get too hung up on that thing. It's just that it's a very big thing right now, you know. But there are so many things, you know. All of us, we're always going to have some sin left within us, and it's like, you know, that's why I've gained acceptance of all kinds of people. The ones I have a really, really hard time with, the ones that I struggle with not hating, you know, are the worst kind of people, the rapists, the people that would hurt kids, the people that would rob old people, you know, like that. In my moral code, in my society where I get to side, those people get to hang, you know. It's not about, you know, it's not even a question about fairness, you know, or justice. It's like they are a risk now. They have lost, they have shown that they are going to be too much damage to society if they're around, so they need to go. At the very least, be exiled from my society, but preferably hanged, because they could go mess things up in other places too, right? So that's where I struggle. And you look, I have sexual thoughts, you know, I have my high sex drive. I you know how much I'm fighting, because I get so much attention from girls, you know, but I know that I want my one wife, you know. I want to, this is the thing, you know, when we're fallen away from God, we're like animals. Then we think we just need to fuck everything and eat everything that's good, because that's how animals do it. When presented with the option to be hedonists, animals are, you know. It's just that when they live in nature, they can't. But us humans, we can rise above that. And the beautiful thing, the proof is right there in nature too, that we're really supposed to. We're not supposed to spread our seed like that. That's when we're animals, just fucking everything, you know. The reason I know how that we're meant to become a husband and wife and have a family is because I've experienced firsthand how extremely strongly you can feel in those relationships, and when you think you're losing them, you know, how extremely painful that is, more than anything else. And it's just a sign that, yes, this is the most important person. This is what it's all about. And when you think you're losing the thing you're here to, you know, meant to do, it just destroys you. So the proof is there even in nature, you know. That's how it's supposed to work. But yeah, with apart from those worst people that I mentioned, I gained that acceptance. I've had my shit I had to deal with in life. So I forgive others for their sins. If I want to be forgiven for mine, like, who am I to be like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. Look at these LGBTQ people. Look at, I don't know, other people, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, I'm not perfect either. And I sure as hell wasn't before. So, you know, we'll always have some amount of sin within us. But then it's what we do. When we, you know, fail at doing the right thing, do we repent? Do we ask for forgiveness and repent? That's the thing. And you can't, of course, do it manipulatively. I'll just sin a bit and then ask for forgiveness. I mean, when you slip up and genuinely repent, you forgive me, Father, you know, I'll do better now. I'll do my best. I will change this, you know, when you genuinely do that. Yeah. Adam, exactly. There is no light without the dark. Without suffering, there is no growth. Exactly. Without, yeah. Do you journal your thoughts, by the way? No, not really, because I record so many videos when I talk about my thoughts, so I will go back to certain videos sometimes, and now I even made one, the message to low state self, that it's meant to when I'm feeling bad. For me, it's like a journal for me, right, from the high state, right, high state report. So I think it's a great practice, but because in the nature of the things I do, that I am on record so much. I voice messages to my friends and clients when we talk about everything. Like with the clients, I don't talk about my shit, of course, but with friends, I have my videos and that. So I think journaling is a great practice, but it mustn't only be writing in a journal, right? It can be something else. Okay, so this stream has gone on for longer. I need to catch the sun for my video that I'm making. So thank you guys. It was a very interesting stream for me. I hope you thought so too. Please comment after it's done. Please like. I appreciate the super chat once again, Ryan Johnson. Very much appreciated. I'm loving it. I'm starting to see more and more support from you guys, and I will give back. I will give back so much. You'll just see, guys. You'll just see. Okay, and what I want to say, by the way, if you're still struggling with your belief in God, but you want to, the second best thing you can do is to put your trust in someone that you can see that they know God. And that's why I'm asking you to put trust in me. I'm not God, but I am closer to him than you, if you can believe right now, are. And you see, this is what Jesus was to others. I'm not saying that I am Jesus. We are all brothers. We can all, for our clique, be the Jesus, you know. So, yeah, that's the final message. If you aren't fully there, just trust in me. Follow me here, and I will show you the way. Okay, guys, I will see you later. Peace.